Hi, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. I'm Sisian, life coach, motivational speaker, and happy Saturday to everybody out there, all you beautiful souls. Okay, today we'll talk about a topic. Relationships are very, very difficult for most people, okay, because we haven't mastered the game of relating to each other because of the fact that we are brought up in homes where we are taught how to respond to life in a very, very traumatic way, in a very unbalanced way. Now they say that your mother's the first person that teaches you how to treat yourself. You are manifesting life through yourself, through your own belief systems, through your own responses to life, how you were taught in your childhood, how you were traumatized, how you were neglected, how you were accepted, or how you were celebrated, right? And it wasn't unconditional. Unfortunately, we live in a world where everything is conditional. We taught at a young age as a child, be a good child. Don't be a naughty child. We taught, be a patient child, be a giving child, be a helpful child, be a pleasant child, be a smart child, be an intelligent child, right? Don't ask questions, be an obedient child. So we go around right through life seeking that from other people, right? Because that's what we are taught. So in our relationships, in our romantic relationships, it spills out into that sphere as well. So today we're talking about how I can attract a man into my life and keep him, or how you can attract a man in your life and then keep him. Okay, now I am not saying I've mastered it, but I'm married for 14 years, and that could mean anything. It could be even mean that I'm married, but I'm not happy in my marriage, right? Because these things do happen, right? Now remember, happiness is an inner choice. When you make a choice to be with somebody, right, and you're attracted to each other for a certain specific reason. Your vibration, you need to align. It's resonance, right? It's resonance. Now, after 14 years of marriage, I realized that me and my husband, we have resonance, right? For the good things and also for the bad, so-called negative, toxic things, traits that we have. Because remember, we both come from families. We both come from a mother that taught us how to treat ourselves. So if your mother had an imbalance within herself, you will automatically inherit that imbalance, right? Now let's talk more about this whole story, how to attract a man and keep him right now. Remember that men have emotions. Men are not perfect. Men are just as flawed as females are flawed, because at the end of the day, remember that we're born in homes that are not perfect. So we cannot be perfect. We're born with some sort of conditioning. When we're born, we come in pure. However, we come in pure. However, we are conditioned by life itself. Your mother's trauma becomes your trauma indirectly. Your mother's joys becomes your joy. That's why it's a proven fact that when you hold a baby, if a mother holds a baby to her chest and she's feeling happy, secure, and grounded, that energy transfers to the baby, because everything is energy. Emotions are energy. So that's how when a woman has a birth, a natural birth, or even a cesarean birth, if she's able to, the nurses or the doctor will tell her to hold the baby to her chest so the child can feel her heartbeats and feel grounded and find anchoring here. Okay, because once the child comes out of the womb, like for example, through a difficult birth, there's trauma that the mother's pushing and feeling, and the pain in the baby coming out. Now, apparently, that also increases and activates your human solar plexus. Your solar plexus is then activated as a small infant when you're working your way out of the birth canal. Now, there's also cesarean birth. So children, basically, that don't go through that process or don't have their solar plexus activated straight away, right? They have to learn it. They have to now live in life and learn how to open the solar plexus, right? How to show up for yourself in life right now today. Let's talk about relationships. The reason I'm touching on the birth and energy and the mother relationship and everything, because all that affects us as individuals as we go into our relationships, okay? I just recently found out my very first relationship. It was like an aha moment, okay? It was an abusive relationship with somebody who was traumatized. So we trauma bonded. It was a trauma bonded relationship. I came in with my trauma and he came in with his trauma, seeking peace and release, not understanding that you cannot get peace and release from outside of you. You get it from within yourself. Now, remember, I'm a life coach and I'm also a public speaker and a spiritual teacher. So I could combine my psychology knowledge and understanding and research with my spiritual knowledge and research as well, because you can never know everything in life. Right now, let's continue. Okay, now how to attract a man into your life and keep it, because people out there want to attract the SP, want to attract their soulmates, right? Not understanding that you may be somebody who needs to fix yourself first, balance yourself out, clear all your trauma. Right, so here we go. Now I'm live again. Guys, welcome to my live. I'm Sissin, life coach and motivational speaker. If you're new here, go ahead and consider subscribing, because my channel is about spirituality, self-awareness, and developing yourself on the physical side and also emotional side on the spiritual side of things, okay? We are humans, emotional beings, walking emotions. That's what we are, right? Because everything is from your emotion. As I said, your first relationship on how to treat yourself is learned at home with your mom, the one that cuddles you, the one that breastfeeds you, the one that nurtures you, teaches you how to show up for yourself. Now, if she is not showing up for herself and is neglecting herself, self-erasure as they call it, you adapt that type of mechanism. That's how you also begin to treat yourself. Mothers have a big role in developing our energetic fields, right? Mothers have a big role. Right now, you come out of childhood, you're now an adult, you're now working and everything. Now you're looking for a partner, looking to date. Now you're consciously saying, now, okay, I need a partner. So how do I attract this person? So I write my list down. This is my wish list of the person I want in my life, as a man or a female. So now today we're speaking basically about females. So this is also relevant for men as well. So keep yourself tuned into this live, guys. Right now, let's talk more about it. Like, how do I attract a man into my life and keep him? How do men get attracted? Basically, right? To be with somebody. Now, remember, true spiritual attraction is not about controlling. It's not about binding, keeping a man against his will. You cannot keep a man against his will. You shouldn't be doing that, right? So it's all about becoming aligned, embodied, energetically coherent. I love that word. Energetic coherence. English is a fantastic language. That the right man is naturally drawn to you. That coherency, that alignments is very important. So let's break it into a little bit. Okay, let's break it up a little bit more. Thank you for liking my live. I'm here to entertain, but also here to inform, right? Entertainment and information. Okay, here we go. The core spiritual law is very important. What is this spiritual law? You don't attract what you want, my lovies. You attract who you being at that moment, at any given time of your life. You attract them like you are a magnet, basically. Unintentionally and intentionally, okay? Intentionally, she dresses up, she makes herself look good. Intentionally, she pretends to be somebody else. She comes, she's acting like she's somebody else. You're asking her questions, but then you can pick up on the vibe, because you cannot think that your energy is not lying. You might be pretending to be something else, but there's something there, that energy to show that you're not being your true self. Now, remember that most people are not really tuned into energy. They don't understand. You need to look at the subtle red flags, right? Subtle red flags. So let's continue, right? Men need to be magnetized to you. As a woman, the men become magnetized to you, right? And I'm sure you can relate to what I'm saying, guys, right? Simon and Stephen, you know what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, you just feel attracted to this person. You're not sure why. They may not even be your spec, your type, but hey, there's something about this woman that's so attractive. What is it? That is your energy. You're being magnetic. You are magnetic, and she's also magnetic as well. She might not be your conscious speak, but subconsciously she is. Maybe she reminds you subconsciously of your mother's energy, maybe a favorite actor you saw on TV, whatever the story may be. But this person's energy is like a magnet that's pulling you to her right now. Being magnetic, it has to involve emotional safety. You need to feel safe to be with this woman, okay? You need to feel that authentic feminine presence as well. Her presence must be authentic and feminine, right? Self-worth without chasing. She should have self-worth without chasing. She should be calm and confident. Now, remember, if you are trauma bonding, it's opposite. It's no calmness. In trauma bonding, you're both not calm people. You're both not calm people on the subconscious level, but you're appearing to be calm, obviously. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But you'll have issues, you'll have traumas. You see? So that's how it works. So, but what you need to look at as a woman, when you want to attract a man and keep him, you need to have self-presence. You need to have emotional safety. You need to be a safe space for that man, right? You need to have authentic femininity. Your femininity must be authentic. Don't pretend, right? Remember that femininity is not about dressing a certain way only or just putting on makeup. It's that energy that you have within you, that assurance, that boldness. I know I'm a woman. I know I'm available and I'm valuable. You get I'm valuable and I'm kind of giving. You know what I mean? I'm willing to listen to you. Now, in most cases, men are normally attracted to a woman that are similar to their mothers, because their mothers, their first archetypal energies that they get it's to experience as a young child. So, I'm looking for a woman that's almost like my mother, caring, giving, and forgiving. Somebody that is tolerable, is going to tolerate my flaws. Somebody's going to cook for me, maybe. Somebody that loves to be the homebody, cooking and cleaning like my mom. You see, that because that is your first encounter of phenomenon activities, what you think is a divine to you. That this is a woman. My mother was like this. So I'm looking for a woman that's like my mother, basically, right? And sometimes it happens other way around. If you have a mother wound, a huge one, so you want somebody that's totally not like your mother. You run away when you see that this person is like my mother. She's everything my mother was, and I don't want that. There's a wound between you and that person and your mother, right? Let me continue. Now, your nervous system plays a big role in this whole attraction thing, okay? Remember that emotional safety is important. Authentic feminine presence is important. Self-worth without chasing. Don't chase a man. A man gets put off when you chase him, right, guys? I'm sure you can relate to what I'm saying, right? You want a woman that's got calmness, calm confidence. So you need to be calm and confident as a woman. Know yourself. You don't have to compromise. You don't have to be too loud, right? You grounded yourself in your sensual energy, right? I'm trying to say you grounded in your sensual energy. When your nervous system is regulated, because the nervous system plays a big role in attraction. Your self-love embodiment, your energy says, I am whole, right? I don't chase, I choose. That is a magnetic alone. Now she knows the confidence, guys. She knows that life is not a competition. Now remember, we're living in a society where they feel there's more women and men. So women feel there's a competition for a man, for good men, for men that have money, as they call it. Good in today's society is he has money, he has a job, he has a car, he dresses a certain way, maybe. He lives in a certain type of environment, moves around with certain affluent friends. They call that good, right? Not thinking that that's all the outside things, the external stuff, right? That's why there's such a big competition, because everybody's scrambling now for the best type of man, the one with the money and all those things, the one that's educated, the one that's going to buy you a car, provide you a home, take your children to private schools because he has money. We call that good, right? Don't understand. That's just the material part of what the man can offer and what he should be offering to you. It's only material. What about the psychological safety? What about the mental stability? What about the mental support? What about the kindness? What about the love? Okay. So now we need to balance it out. So in most cases, we're looking for the physical fulfillment in the relationship, in the marriage. You're looking at what the other things, the subtle things, right? So a woman tend to want, because we are actually, sorry, we don't do it on purpose. Women are naturally zoned for the safest man, for the one that's going to provide you a home, the one that's going to provide you with safety and protection, money-wise and even physically, the one is going to be very attractive and domineering in sexually as well. Somebody that's going to fulfill your sexual needs. Or people look at sizes and things like that. His body size, everything about him, because we evaluate it in a physical way. Now that's also very misleading as well, because remember the other subtle things like kindness, consideration, balance, psychological safety is important for a relationship to be successful. Psychological safety is important. You should feel safe as a man with your partner, right? And a woman should also portray herself as somebody who is a safe investment, because you're investing your time, your energy, and your focus on this person. Remember, everything in life is an investment. I'm married now for 14 years investment, and I'm not disappointed, right? And I don't think he's disappointed either. Because we talk about this topic very often, we reassess our connection. We speak about these things, especially since I'm a life coach, right? So we speak about these things. And I let him speak his truth, and I listen. But I'm not only paying attention to what he's saying, I'm also paying attention to what he is doing, his actions, and what he's not saying. Because remember that your partner is not going to want to hurt you. Somebody that truly loves you doesn't want to be saying things that are going to hurt you, so you got to be careful. Okay, he's not saying this because he thinks he's going to hurt me. But the way he's acting, what he's not saying is also very important, right? Stephen and Simon, thank you for joining my live. Right, so today we're talking about this topic, and it's a very interesting one. Let's continue. Now, what's energetic attractiveness? An energy that's attractive. What is that? Energetic coherence, as I mentioned earlier on, your thoughts or emotions, your body, your spirits are all aligned, right? Signs that you are energetically attractive to somebody. You don't over-explain or over-give. Number one, there's no self-erasure here, right? You feel grounded in your body and in the relationship. You feel secure with this person. You are receptive, right? But you're also not forcing it. You're receptive, but you're not forcing it, right? You're not forcing to be with this guy, right? You can see there's also gelling with you as well. You're aligned. There's coherence, energetic coherence, right? Now, men subconsciously feel safe or feel this when let's continue, when I feel calm, alive, and seen around her. When he feels calm, alive, and seen around her. So she's not only focusing on her own needs, she's also focusing on my needs. She wants to know, babes, are you okay? How was the day today? How was work today? Tell me how you're feeling when you hear about this. You see, now it's a woman that's tapped into your emotions. Not give me a call, give me money. No. Now you're looking at him and saying, babes, are you okay? Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling safe with me? How was the day today? As women, we tend to misunderstand that men are just as human as we are. So we need to give them that love, giving them the human kindness and consideration and empathy as well. Now, let's continue. Spiritual methods to attract without manipulation. Now, in the spiritual world, we have what we call spiritual manipulation, where you bind the person, you want to be with him, put a binding spell on him, entrapment in another subtle way. That's what I believe it is. Right now, remember that a binding spell is not a bad thing necessarily, but it is all about the fact that is a man wanting to be with you? Did he express his feelings for you? In that case, you can do a binding spell, because you know that this is now he wants you as much as you want him. A binding spell becomes more left-handed and enforctive when a person is not wanting to be with you, right? Maybe he's only wanting one thing, one sex only, but he doesn't want to be with you. He doesn't want to have a relationship with you. He only wants to take that physical thing that you're willing to give. So now you decide, oh my God, I know that he's not really fully committed in me, but I'm going to bind him now. That's where the problem goes chaotic, right, in spirituality, right? So I myself don't involve myself in those type of things, right? Because I don't like to do things for other people when it comes to spells, because people don't know how to add to your spell. They don't know how to act and really believe in that spell, because you may be working and doing your spells and that person is not even believing in that spell working. That person is doubting. Remember, everything's energy, so they pour in the negative energy into your hard work and focus. That's why I don't like doing it, right? I do it for myself, but nobody else, right? Now let me continue. And I remember that spiritual methods to attract your partner is not about manipulation. As divine energy activates every day within you as a female, right? You can have a process whereby you say to yourself, hold on to your tummy, put your hand on your tummy and one hand on the heart, and you say to yourself, now you ground. This is your own magical spell within yourself, and you say, I am safe in my body. Remember, words are spells, right? I am safe in my body. I am worthy of desire. I allow love to come to me. I don't chase love, right? Breathe in deep breathe. Then you breathe in deeply, right? Hold it within for a few minutes and out again, a few seconds, sorry, and out. So you can count of 4. I normally like to use the count of 4. Breathe in 4 counts, hold in for 2, and release out for 8, because you're totally releasing, right? So very important. This to activate the phenomenon magnetism within you as a female right now. I'm hoping some females can join this live so we can get this information and knowledge. It's very important. Another important thing is this to detach. Right? Detach. When you want something, or you want a partner, anything in life, even money, husband, whatever, it's all about doing the spells, saying the prayer, doing the petition, right? And then you detach. Because now detachment is about trust. You trust it all as well. You trust that you are able to have this thing that you're wanting and desiring, right? That's basically is that if you go and you now sabotage your own self by not trusting the spell that you put in, it becomes a problem, right? Now let's continue. Desire without detachments. That's what it's all about. Desire without detachments or attachments, sorry. Desire without attachments, meaning there's detachments, right? You write down your name on a piece of paper, and under it you say, right? You write down the name of the person that you're trying to pull into your life. That specific person that you're attracted to, that you want. Maybe, for example, Stephen. I want Stephen to write his name down there. And then you say, underneath his name, you say, right, I release control. What is aligned will stay. What is not will fall away. Right? So, what is not will fall away. So you are telling the universe that I am now trusting in this process. I release control. So, for example, don't need to do it like formally, but I remember myself doing it when I started, when I met my husband and I started dating him, and then I fell in love with him. And I don't want to be too forceful, because I knew that before, prior to meeting him, I was always clingy. So I decided, let me release it. This thing of like urgency, I need to have this man. I must have this man in my life. I needed to release it, because that was one of the toxic traits that I had actually been portraying before. So I learned how to release and said, I'm safe, right? I'm safe in my body. And I now release it. I release this need, knowing that all is well. What is aligned will stay. If he's aligned for me and meant for me, he will stay. What is not will fall away. If he's not meant for me, then it's fine as well. I always tell my clients, when you want something and you're holding on to that thing too much, like for example, you want to meet this guy, you want this guy to say yes to you, to approach you. You know what I mean? Because most women don't approach, they wait to be approached. Now you are wanting this person, right? And you have been praying to God, you've been doing whatever you're doing, you're putting spells, doing petitioning and everything. You really want this person. You're asking his friends about him. You're trying to get connected to him by force. You're not releasing it. It's okay to say, like, I like to meet him. I want him to meet me. We have a discussion. It's fine. Right? And you leave it as that. After you've met him, and now the energy is there. So he has to also now come and give back that energy to say that he's also interested. Don't force it, right? So if you write it down on a piece of paper, once you've written it, you've done the ritual, right? Put your name, and then you put the spell, which is I release control. What is aligned will stay. What is not aligned will naturally fall away, right? And then you will now say that 3 times yourself and then pour it out into the universe and say, so and so it is, just as I said and just as I believe. But truly, a spell normally works when you really truly believe in it. If you just saying it for the sake of saying it, but it's making you feel uncomfortable, and you say, I release control, and you're feeling uncomfortable, maybe you need to rethink the spell, because it doesn't work that way. You need to be truly and genuinely aligned to what you're saying and truly believe in it for it to work, right? But then you can either, when if you do truly believe in it and it's working well within you energetically, once you've done that, you burn the paper or you will tear it up. But burning is always better, but you got to do it in the safe space right now. Detachment increases attraction. I've noticed, right, what they say, men don't like women that run after them or chase after them. Men prefer a woman that's so confident, so she acts like she doesn't care if you phone her or if you don't phone her. If you ask her out, she doesn't give a damn, because her life is not centered on you calling her. Right now, ladies, if you're here and watching this live now, right, remember that. A man can pick up your energy. If it's desperate, he's going to say she's desperate, and then he'll pull away. But when you can show that you are confident enough, my life doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if you are going to call me or not. I'm not going to sit there watching my phone 24/7 waiting for you to call me. You see, that kind of thing. Because when you're doing that, you're giving that energy out of desperation. He will feel it, because everything is energy, right? He will definitely feel and say that you're desperate. You're a desperate woman, okay? Now remember, detachment increases attraction. So detachment increases attraction. You understand? Detachment increases attraction. And because it's a higher frequency, do not focus on yourself. It's a higher frequency than desperation. That's the reason why. Then number C, self-devotion. Honor yourself. Love yourself. Men stay where they feel they are not responsible for your happiness. Your happiness is your business. Men like confident women are not seeking external validation. She feels good enough within herself. Spiritual self-devotion looks like this. Keeping promises to yourself, number one. Keep your own promises. Have your own internal integrity. It's important. Nourishing your body, which you already do intuitively. Feeding it food, keeping it in a safe space. Don't put yourself in unsafe places and situations, okay? Speaking kindly to yourself. Self-talk must be kind, not you cutting yourself down and criticizing yourself, right? Then the other one is having life that fulfills full without him, without a partner. You're not desperate to be fulfilled by somebody else. You're okay alone as a single person. That's why they always say, enjoy being single, because it's a beautiful time of your life where you can now focus on your own self, your own needs. You have nobody else to bother about. That's why it's nice to be single, because then you focusing on yourself. I got a son who's 25 years old. He doesn't date. He says he's not ready to date and he doesn't want to date. He'd rather work on himself, make money. He likes working and making money and taking care of his own health and building his body and his mind, right? He said he's not ready for that type of commitment for somebody else. Now I'm seeing people dating in high school, and we so in love with this person. We so in love in high school with the person that they're not even ready for that type of investment, that emotional, energetic investments. You're not ready for it. Then we start dabbling in things like sexual activities when we are not ready, because now we want to explore as teenagers. That is the problem, right? So I like the fact that my son never go through that type of process. He's always been the type of person that says, you know what, I'm not going to date until I'm ready. He had some girlfriends in high school. He fell into that trap. But as soon as he finished high school, at least it was at the end of his high school, and went to university to study, he realized he saw life for what it is. Relationships are exhausting. Very, very exhausting financially these days, because you must take her out, you must entertain her. You must buy a gift for a birthday. You buy a gift for Christmas. You buy all these things. That's money. That's energy. And you're focused on now. You're not focusing on your own development. You're not focusing on your own happiness and your own joy. Let's continue right now. Remember that how to keep him Energetically, it's about keeping him feeling safe within you, being with you. He must say, oh my God, that woman is so exhausting. She's always complaining. She's so toxic. She's always complaining about her friends. She's always fighting about her friends and all those things. That woman is so toxic. He's not going to feel safe. He might be attractive to you. You got the aesthetics, you got the backside, you got the flat tummy, you got everything. But the problem is that your attitude, your vibration, your mentality is so low frequency, it becomes a problem. Right now, let's continue. You don't keep a man by holding tighter. That's number one. It's all about trust, right? It's about trust and surrender. You keep him by remaining yourself, confidence within yourself. You keep him because you know that you are very, very valuable to him, that even without him, you'll still be okay, right? He needs you more than you need him, kind of vibe, right? Basically, Simon, guys, what you think about this? What I've just said now. What is yours own experience when it comes to dating as men? What type of woman do you like? Do you like women that are clingy, or do you like women that's kind of not detached, not attached, but detached? You know, she keeps to herself. She's there when you need her to be there. She's really respectful. She's not testing you 24/7 on the phone and asking where you are on WhatsApp. Babes, why are you 5 minutes late? Where are you? All those type of things. I don't think you're like that type of woman right now. That's because she's not detached. She's too invested in keeping you. She got a claws on you tight like that. Becomes a problem. You can't even breathe anymore. Okay, so let's continue. Energetically, don't abandon your boundaries to please him. This is a lesson I had to learn. Self-erasure is very important. Don't self-erase yourself in a relationship. You need to not abandon your boundaries to please him, whatever the boundaries are. Now remember, relationships need boundaries. Don't shrink to be chosen. Don't shrink and make yourself exactly what you think he needs in his life. You understand? Now you're not being yourself. You're not being authentic. So don't shrink. Right? Don't mother or rescue a man or over nurture. Don't go and visit his house and you want to cook for him. You want to clean for him. You just met him. You just started dating. Now you want to show him that I'm here to be your mother. I've seen this a lot in relationships. You go on a date and in the next date, you decide, okay, I'm coming to your house to cook for you. For what purpose? For what purpose? Because he didn't even say he wants somebody to cook for him. He didn't say he's looking for a wife. You understand? Unless he said it, okay, you want to test your skills as a wife. Can you take care of a home? Can you cook? Can you clean? Can you manage your home? Because I'm looking for a wife. Now, very few men ask this question. Only later on in life, maybe like when you're like over 30, going for 40, maybe 40, maybe even 50s, because men are not all the same. Not every man is going to say, okay, I'm looking for a wife. When they meet you, they're dating. They're actually looking for good times. They want somebody to just give them good times. Physically, spiritually, energetically. Most men are chasing sex, in other words, right? Just to be frank on what I'm saying. Most men are chasing that orgasm. That's all. And it becomes a problem. Now, women don't understand that okay, sex is not love. Okay, so you're looking for that release, and the sexual release is coming towards you. So you need to be understanding what type of man you're dealing with, okay? Men are different to women. I always say this, right? Now, there are those anomalies, right? Anomalies. There are those women that are very sexual and very, very, very sexually focused. They're not really seeking love. Normally, women that are normally very sexual focused, not seeking love, not seeking a partnership, or seeking only the sexual activity, is because of her trauma. She's been traumatized in relationships. Maybe even in childhood, she was raped, physically abused. So now she doesn't trust men. So she knows her body is also a tool to get what she wants. Now she'll use it for an exchange. You know, like money, for example. That's why prostitution is a big thing in the world now. That's why we have like slave queens, because they know their money is the tool. Their appearance is the tool. Their backside is a tool to get the attention. That's where the problem comes in, right? But we're going deep into this thing. Remember that if you look at the society how it is now, it tells a lot about the psychic, the energy frequency of the community we're living in. Global, even in South Africa. If you just take South Africa alone and you're South African, and check how we behave in South Africa, how teenagers as young as 12 are behaving, the experimentation with sex, they're very sexual, they're dressing very sexual. Why? Because of the mentality, the energy, the frequency of our society. It's too focused on sexuality because of what we've been fed by global social media, by global mass media and stuff like that. That yes, I'm sexy and beautiful when I'm dancing like Tyler, moving my backside like Tyler, I'm moving my waist like Tyler. The children as young as 9 are taught that nonsense. You see my point? Because we're looking at mass media, looking at social media, and we say, oh my God, that must be life. Everybody loves Tyler, so I must do the same thing. Then you see people, everybody's doing it on social media, dancing, showing, moving their hips up and down and all those things. Right? Because of the psychic is the message we're receiving from the collective. Now remember, that Tyler is backed by corporations. She's backed by companies. She's a commodity. She's a commodity. They're selling her image, her voice, her talent for money. Right now, the first thing the parents need to sit down with their little girls as young as 9 years old and tell them, see that Tyler lady, she's a commodity, she's a product. She is dancing like that, right? I'm not throwing any shade on Tyler. She's gifted, beautiful. I'm happy for her. But the matter is that we need to be truthful about the whole thing. She's a commodity. She's making money for the corporation with her voice, with her image, with her dancing, with that swing and all of. Same as when they brought up Beyonce and any other artists, Rihanna, all of them. They're all commodities by corporations. If you could understand how many corporations are backing these artists, financing their lifestyles, paying them for their performances, you'll be shocked that even they don't want to control you, how you dress. Wherever Tyler goes, she's half naked because that's the image that they're paying her to portray. If she always says, all of a sudden, I'm born again, I'm now what happened to Lauryn Hill, same thing. She became very too spiritual too soon in her career, and she backed out because she couldn't cope with the corporations' expectations. They wanted a certain image, and she couldn't keep up with the image. And she left. It was too much pressure psychologically, energetically, in every way, because you are a commodity totally. You know, it's nice to say, oh, I want to be famous like Tyler, like Michael Jackson. I want to be famous like Britney Spears. Look at Britney Spears' trauma. It played out in public, and now we even know what really happens in showbiz, right? Because it's all about that. So why are we allowing our children to be misled by commodities like Beyonce, like Taylor? The other Swift lady, I forgot her name. She has another image. Her image is country singer, innocent girl kind of vibe, and she's maturing. So her image is totally like also evolving as well, right, guys? So let's go back. Remember, everything's energy and everything's done on purpose. So when you're in a relationship, understand how are you going to show up authentically. Don't copy Tyler. Don't copy other people. Be yourself. Understand the value of your body. Understand the value of yourself. You understand? Don't sell yourself short. What I said, sell yourself to the devil, as they call it right now. Let me continue. Now, a man will stay when he feels desired. A man will stay when he's not demanded, he's forced to stay. He won't stay if you force him to stay. A man will stay when he feels respected. Oh, yes. The big cliche, respect your man. What does it really mean? What is respect? Okay, what is respect? Because every man, every black man, every white man, every type of man is talking about respect. I want my partner to respect me. What does it mean by that? It means I want you to acknowledge me. I want you to see me, the true me. I want you to really nurture my feelings and my emotions. And I want you to recognize that I'm human like you. That's what respect means. I want you to put me on a pedestal and make you the head of your life. That's what respect means. Put me on a pedestal and make me more important than you. That's just my opinion, because it can go as bad as that, right? When you start now having self-erasure because this man is so important in your life, okay? Now, let's talk more about the sexual side of things. Sexual energy without sex. Very powerful. Now, sexual energy is life force. Sexual energy is life force, not intercourse. Intercourse is the action we do when we want to make a baby, right? It's supposed about planting a seed in a woman, okay? Sexual energy is that life force, that confidence, that sway you have, that vibe you have, basically in life, right? I'm trying to portray it by swinging my body, what I'm trying to say, for you to understand what it really means. Slow walking with awareness of your hips, swaying your hips, as I said, swaying your hips. That rhythm, I'm confident in myself, I'm here, I'm willing to take space. basically. I'm here, I'm willing to, and I'm here and I'm willing to take space. Gentle self-touch. Gentle self-touch in your arm, on your hand, on the collarbone, you understand, on the hair, you know, that kind of thing. When you're talking to a woman, it just touches her hair, touches a chest or a collarbone, you know, then the gentle look in your eye, you know, like, you know, that whole sexual vibe, right? It's not intercourse. Intercourse is something else to make babies. That's my opinion, but people are doing it for pleasure as a sport. But anyway, let's continue. Right now, breath work that moves from the pelvis to the heart, breathing from the pelvis to the heart. Your pelvis is a very important part of your sexuality. Remember, when you're standing up, it lifts up forward. Right now, it says, I'm here, I'm present, I'm taking space, basically, right? As somebody who's physically impaired, right? I've been doing physiotherapy, and one of the main things I've been working on was to help to carry my pelvis up again, because I've been disabled for many years. Right now, that's part of who we are. Our pelvis are very important for our presence in life. Okay, like when you walk, and your pelvis goes forward, and you're able to now to walk confidently without bending forward and kind of slumbling down. Right, so it's important. So in sexuality as well, you're breathing that energy from your pelvis, your self-awareness, which is close to your solar plexus, and just clear your sacral, which is sacral is your creative energy, your sexual energy. That's why it's so important as well. The solar plexus on top here, which is all about your self-awareness, your self-confidence, and then your sacral underneath, which is below the pelvis. That's where the your energy is, your sexual energy, your creative energy is. Yes, sexuality, sex energy, sexuality, creative energy. It's that enthusiasm, it's that energy that creates worlds. Like how when a man and a woman come together and combine, have intercourse and have a baby. It's their sacral, the sacral chakras activated at that time, right? Bringing forth that cells that are going to combine, and then spark of life starts, and then a baby is now formed, right? Which is quite interesting. You know, when you try and understand the spiritual concepts, or the gates, spiritual gates, which are your chakras, when you try and understand how they play in terms of the physical activity we do as human beings, then you really understand the totality of being human. You are spiritual, you're multidimensional, you exist in all planes of existence, basically. You're in the spiritual, you're in the physical. Right? You're in emotional, you're all in the mental. You are multifaceted, multidimensional, powerful beings who don't know who they are because they're suffering from amnesia. We're suffering from amnesia. We don't understand how powerful we truly are. Right now, listening to music that makes you feel sensual, right, and sexualized as well. Very important. I mean, you should own your sexuality. When you know who you are, not you want sexually, you won't be abused by other people, because your self-awareness is part of your creativity, which is your sexuality, right? Now let's continue. What to avoid spiritually is important. What to avoid spiritually is important. So I am now on number 4, page 4 actually. I made notes, okay? Lots of notes. There we go. So love spells aimed at specific person. So now what we're talking about here is basically what to avoid. Don't do these type of things, right? Because they don't really work authentically. You are forcing somebody to be with you when they don't want to be with you. Like, for example, love spells on a specific person who doesn't even know you exist. That person doesn't see you the same way. Love and relationships is about two people coming together in agreement. It's not a forcive thing, okay? So avoid making love spells on a specific person who doesn't even know you exist. That person just doesn't feel you the way you feel that person, and that's okay as well, right? And then binding rituals. Don't bind yourself to people that don't want to be with you. You're causing problems, because when you can't unbind certain spells like blood binding spells are very dangerous, and even use like semen and stuff like that. Very, very, very dangerous things to do when you, for the people that don't know nothing about spirituality, right? So don't do binding spells and rituals with people that don't want to be with you, people that are toxic, or maybe you just like trauma bonding. In other words, you like, for example, I call it trauma bonding because you are so traumatized, you feel so unloved, you are forcing somebody else to be with you. There's kind of trauma bonding that you're creating there. And it will work and might work, but it'll work against you in the long run. So don't do things that are forced. Obsession as well. Try and avoid obsession. Like obsessing about manifesting this man in your life. You want this person so much in your life and now you're so obsessed. Obsession is also very low frequency because there's no detachment. No detachment. You're too enmeshed in the idea and over visualizing a man, visualizing this man in your life, right? And ignoring the red flags that this person's not for you. That's why it's important as a woman to have a checklist of all the things you want in a man. When you come across a man that doesn't have those things that you desire in a man, then you have no business to be with that person. Don't even date the first date. Don't even go on the first date because you're just wasting your time. Yes, we can be friends, basically, right? We can be friends because, yeah, it's okay being a friend, but I know that you're not my type. But we vibe on another level as friends, it's fine, right? But don't force things that are, and maybe you want something opposite. Okay, he says, let's just be friends and you want something else. And you persistent, now you're going to manipulate the friendship into something else and becomes a problem. Don't do that. You're wasting your time. Okay, remember the ultimate truth about energy. When you become energetic attractive to somebody, right? You don't need to convince that person that you are right for him or her, right? You don't need to compete with nobody else. He might have exes, he might have many people that are attracted to him too at the same time as he's asking you out. You don't have to be afraid of competition because there is no competition. Life and relationships are not about competition, right? Now, you don't need to chase him as well. Don't be chasing and phoning him and okay, you go on the date, you like the date was very well, you had a good time, you're gelled, you're really related, you had a good time, and then he says he's gonna call you, and you sit all day the next day waiting for him to call you, not moving on with your life. You're not like saying, oh my God, that evening yesterday was so wonderful. I'm just gonna enjoy my life as I normally do. Now you're sitting and you're busy now waiting for the phone call. You can't rest. You're doing nothing the whole day. You're just sitting. Oh my God, when is this guy gonna phone me? Oh my God, I'm afraid he doesn't like me. Oh my God, he doesn't like me. Now you're obsessing. It becomes a problem. Hi, how are you, Simon? Steve, when I spoke to you, and somebody else with the name of, say my name, Web something. How are you, my life? Hope you're doing well. Anyway, thank you for joining my life, right? So I'm sure you're here for a certain reason, right? So today we're talking about relationships and how you can attract a man and keep him, right? Now, a lot of men are here on this live, right? You know what I'm talking about. So if y'all are objecting or have any opinions of what I'm saying, please write it down and let's chat. Okay, let's chat. Okay. Now remember that the ultimate truth is that you can't convince a man to love you. You don't need to compete with other women for his attention. It's a waste of time because he's made up his mind. Men have the gift of strong will, right? I made up my mind and I want this person in my life. And whatever she's trying to do is not going to work, right? So you don't need to chase as a woman. Don't chase a man. It's a waste of time. The right man will step forward willingly. The right man will step forward willingly. Show consistency as well. The right man will choose you without confusion. He's not going to say, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm so undecided. I don't know what to do. I like you, I like her too. However, I feel that maybe you can give me more than that she can give me because we all want something from a relationship. We all want something from our partners. There's nobody that can tell me that the relationships are not transactional because they are. They are. They are. Even if a rich man is marrying a very poor woman, there's something he wants from that woman. He's going to provide the money, but she's going to provide something else that he needs. That's how we are actually engineered. There's nothing wrong or right about that, guys, right? Remember that. True conditional love is within you, loving yourself totally, not compromising yourself. But when you're in a relationship, you're getting something from that relationship. You're getting that acceptance, you're getting that money, you're getting that support, you're getting something. Everybody is in a relationship for a certain reasons, and so am I. I'm talking about my own experience as well as a married woman, right? There's something I'm getting from my partner, and there's something is getting from me. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm not going to compromise. That's the reason why I even manage attracting me in my life because I'm not going to compromise. I spent many years compromising on my own needs, many years self-erasing my own self to be in a relationship and my desires. Right? Remember, I always tell people your wish list is important because at the end of the day, I use the same method to actually keep to what I want in a man, right? And actually develop a good relationship with my partner. I'm always speaking, I'm always setting boundaries. This is what I want, and allow him to also set his own boundaries as well. It's important. Okay, let's continue. I'm almost done now, right? I'm almost done with my life. So let's continue. Okay. And what makes him feel safe? What does it really mean? Tolerating and respect. Tolerance and respect, sorry. Tolerance and respect. Tolerate his weaknesses because everybody has weaknesses. And respect is saying, I see you. I acknowledge you as a person. I honor you in my life. I'm giving you a space in my life to be my partner, right? That's what it means. Suppressing your own needs. Don't suppress your needs. Don't suppress your needs. Let him know about your needs, right? Being endlessly understanding, meaning now you are constantly, you have to be understanding and remember your boundaries. Your boundaries have to be set, but you need to understand that he's human as well, right? And try and listen to him. If he does something you don't like or he says something you don't like, try and calm down. A lot of people in relationships have a problem because they can't communicate properly. They're not calming down. Sometimes you can do, oh my God, this guy had a bad day at work and now he's taking it out on me. You calm down. You be the calm while he's expressing his frustration for the day or whatever it may be. You be the calm. And maybe even an argument is triggered because he's been triggered because of a trauma at the office, and he comes home and he needs you to be the calm. That's how it works, right? And they can even work the other way around. When she's now all upset because of whatever happened in the outside world, she comes back home in the relationship and she's upset. He too has to be the calm, reasonable thinker that's going to listen to what your partner's saying, right? That's how it works. We have turns. One day he's going to be the calm, that's a safety point, and one day you're going to be the calm and the safety point, okay? We need to balance it out, basically. Remember that our partners are just human like us. May you be male or female watching my live, your partner is just human like you as well. And remember that you attract who you are. So you're going to attract a person with all your own issues that you need to work on as well, which is a wonderful thing. Relationships all about mirrors. It mirrors who we truly are and what we really need to work on. Okay, remember that right now. What makes him feel safe? I said he needs that toleration and respect. He needs you to not suppress your needs. You must speak out, set boundaries, and being endlessly understanding. Be understanding. Remember that what they call it compromising. Don't compromise. You're not compromising when you're being endlessly understanding because it's human. And remember that in life, things happen and life happens, right? Life is always lifing. You know what I mean? A person can come back home and they're upset. You need to understand what's going on. Be patient, be the safe space for them, a good listening ear for your partner, right? Don't criticize and don't judge, basically, because you want the same type of treatment from him that you are actually used to be giving to him, right? So it's a give and take, basically, right? So, guys, let me now finish my live, right, guys? Remember, if you have not as yet, if you're new, Stephen, I think you're new, yeah. Simon, you're new. Is it Web something? 4221. If you're new here on my life, go ahead and subscribe, guys. I'm building numbers. I'm based in South Africa, in a place called Durban. It's by the beach. It's like a coastal city, whatever you may call it. Something like Cape Town. A lot of people know about Cape Town because Cape Town is very well known globally, right? Southern parts of Africa. Okay, I'm a life coach, a motivational speaker, and I'm also a spiritual teacher. So if you are interested in my type of topic, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, right? And also check my videos, kind of go through them, comment on them, share with your friends and stuff like that. If you have opinions, whatever they may be, please feel free, because this is a space that's safe. It's a safe space psychologically as well, right? I don't criticize any person. I'm open to any opinions, right, and any perceptions, because I'm also learning myself about people, about life. As much as I am a teacher, a spiritual teacher, and a coach, I'm also learning each day. So no one's perfect here, right? We're all just on a learning curve, and I'm building my community of people that are want to learn and be more aware about their life experiences and who they are, how to show up better in your life, right? And I speak about spiritual things, concepts as well here, like witchcraft, magic, esoteric things, alchemy, inner alchemy, all those things. I speak about that as well, right? So Relationships are very important in the game of life, right? Relationships are very, very important here. So I know that we as human beings have a problem with relationships, right? We've mastered technology, right? We are advancing, expanding technology, but we're not mastering this technology, our bodies, our frequencies, this important, powerful technology, the human being, the human consciousness. We're not mastering it because we are taught to focus on the outside, not within. Right now is the time for us to focus on the inside of who we are. Like, for example, I'll be making videos about trauma, because trauma in your childhood and in your life also affects your relationships and how you show up in relationships, right? Remember, guys, you are love, right? You need to be loved, but you need to love yourself first, because you are mirroring who you are. Love yourself, and then the world will see, okay, this person is love, and then you'll be attracted or to people that are full of love. Your life will be about that. But sometimes your trauma comes into play, and then you tend to kind of attract according to your trauma, because you have not healed and you haven't acknowledged your traumas, right? Now remember that you need to first acknowledge something before you heal it, before you work on it, right? For you to show up authentically in the relationship, guys, women and men, you need to have healed some at a certain level. That rejection you experienced as a child, that pain that you experienced, that criticism, those type of things, how you were brought up at home. Remember, I always say that your mother taught you how to accept and love yourself. How she did it to herself, you pick up on that type of pattern, right? She rejected herself, so you will also learn to reject yourself as well, right? Then you have to go out in the world and then forge relationships with other people, and here you are, a person that's rejected themselves, and now you do self-erasure. You start now, compromising yourself totally. I'm trying to say, giving up all your own self to please somebody else, because maybe you learned it from your mom. So if you go and you're an adult and you think about how you actually behave in your relationships now, it'll tell you a lot about how you were brought up and about your experiences, right? Like, for example, your mom was your first lover in your life, basically. She was your first lover in your life. If you brought up in a home where your mom was not there, your grandmother was there, she took care of you, she was your first lover in your life. She's the one that nurtured you. Any person that nurtured you, maybe be even your father. Your father was there and he was nurturing you, because there are all those homes where children grow up with their fathers only, and the father does everything. Then that person was your first lover. You understand what I'm trying to say? And I'm talking about love. I'm talking about the global love. It's nothing to do with sexual stuff here, right? Love, agape, what they call agape love. God's love, divine love that our parents, our caretakers really have for us. Okay, guys, so as I finish my life, guys, please remember that you are very, very, very valuable to yourself. So don't neglect yourself. Don't neglect your energy. Don't neglect your needs as a person, right? Daily practice is important. Spirituality is important. Prayer in the morning, prayer in the evening, meditation. I just learned now that, okay, your trauma's in your cells, okay? So when you are meditating, you're also releasing, and you're actually touching on those certain pains and traumas, because your trauma is kept in your cells, in your muscles, right? So when you are doing deep breathing, like panorama, breathing is important, because it actually releases all those toxins. You're touching on those feelings. That's why a lot of people will even start crying in those sessions of breath work, and they start crying because you're actually touching on all those spaces within you energetically that's holding all the traumas of your life, the neglect, the abuse, when you were bullied as a child, whatever it may be, at home, in school, whatever it may be, you're carrying it within you. That's why it's important to have a practice of stillness. May you call it meditation. Now remember, you can meditate walking, you can meditate sitting, you can meditate laying down. Guys, meditation is just like a kind of a focus. You're focusing, it's a stillness. You're acknowledging yourself for who you truly are. Right? You're closing yourself from the world, in a sense, for those 10 minutes, those 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or even 30 minutes. You're closing yourself out, and you're breathing in and you're breathing out, and you're feeling the love of God within you, because air is the love of God. Air is the love of God. It's the breath, the breath. You get what I mean? Your heart is now opening. You're calming down. Your nervous system is also regulated. Your vagus nerve is then activated, right? Then you're moving away from fight and fright, right? And you're moving to more calm, parasympathetic type of calmness. Very important. That's the reason why meditation is important. Quiet time is important. It'll help you with your relationships with yourself and with other people. Remember that you are mirroring everything that you're experiencing in this world. Things are not just happening. Things are not just happening. You're not a victim. You understand who you truly are. Go and learn more about meditation, breathing, breath work. Learn how about trauma, how to heal your traumas. Every single person here on this earth, all 8 billion of us, the ones with souls, are carrying traumas. Maybe subtle traumas of my mother. My mother never breastfeed me. My mother neglected. My mom never take care of me. My mom left me and left me with somebody else. There was another social media interview where the lady said her mom, a famous person, I think she's also an actor, her mom left her with strangers. The stranger was actually her father, but her father was not there for her as she was growing up. Only at the age of 12, she was then given to this man to take care of her. That affected her, traumatized her till today. You get what I'm trying? She doesn't even talk to her mom because of the trauma that she was put through of being taken away from safe place, of knowing where you know that I know these people, I know where I am, and you're taken to a place where you are not safe, right? So it's important to know that trauma, we need to heal it. Don't ignore that feeling when you get a trigger, because it's triggering a memory, a stimuli, maybe a sound, maybe even a smell, maybe an event, that kind of thing. You understand, why do I get so tight? Why I get so afraid? You know what I mean? And trauma is also linked to the huge pandemic of obesity, because trauma is also based on people eating to numb the trauma and the pain of life. You know, because they're not facing the trauma itself. They're not acknowledging, yes, I was raped, yes, I was abused. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. You're feeling at ease when you're eating, because you're numbing yourself. And then for a long time, you're using the same method to numb yourself, right? To keep that pain down. Remember that food also triggers pleasure hormones, especially sugar and salt. Those things, right? They're all linked to the hormone story, right? So you feel more happy because now you're eating. You're not thinking about your problem, and then again you have to stop eating, because you can't eat forever, right? Then you stop eating, and then you find that, oh my God, I'm hungry, but you're not hungry. You're seeking to numb that pain, because you're not focusing on the fact that you're living a lie. You haven't spoken about your trauma. You haven't spoken about what's really eating you within you. And now you're carrying yourself into a relationship and you're all messed up. And you're expecting that person to love you unconditionally, but you're failing to love yourself unconditionally. Right? This is very, very deep stuff that we need to always try and figure out how we're going to heal from our past traumas. What is my trigger? And take ownership, guys. Take ownership of your life. Morning meditation, to contemplate, how am I feeling today? The dream I had today. You know, how I feel about going to work. Be truthful. I don't like my job. I don't like working. I think those people are toxic. Be truthful. Right now, that's why journaling is important, right? Then you sort of, okay, now how can I solve that? Because once you've written the problem down, you know what the problem is. Now you're saying, how can I solve this? That's where people like myself come into play, right? Like coaches, now it's how we help people. Again, so while I'm speaking about that, let me just speak about my spiritual package that I have now from the month of February, March, and April. I'm taking on 3 people to coach, right? I've got 2 people now so far who I'm coaching. So I'm looking for 1 person that I'm going to coach. Right now, we South Africans, so we're dealing in rands. You'll pay me in the rand value, which is only about 1,499 rands, okay? For if you're American or whatever, you're using in dollars, but it's something like 300 or something like that, right? Now, remember that the coaching process is online. It is remote. You don't have to come to me physically. We live in a world with internet. There's a Zoom call, right? Even a Teams call. Once a week, we coach you. Once a week, we go to different areas. Firstly, when you first decide you're coming on board for the coaching, we do a contract. And in the contract will be areas you're going to be actually coached on, areas you need help with my relationship, or I've got an eating problem, whatever it is, right? Nothing too hectic, right? Remember, I'm not a psychologist, disclaimer. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not claiming to be one, right? I can only help on things that are not chronic or medical, right? That's how I coach, and I tell my clients that if you have an issue that needs a specialist from the medical field, then I will actually then refer you to a specialist. But if you're just somebody who's dealing with a habit, a simple habit that you know is just a habit, right? We can work through it. And what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to understand what's the root of that habit, of that smoking, or that's over binging or indulging and stuff like that. What is the root of it? So we go deep into it, right? So it's part of spirituality, but also psychology involved in as well, right? And energy work, because you are energy. So we focus on all things, your past traumas, things that really, when does it first really happen in your life? How can we really approach it, right? Now remember, you're not paying or buying coaching, you are actually buying alignment, you are buying well, how would I say, responsibility. You're going to be more responsible for your life. You need to show up for your life, right? Remember accountability. Some people just need somebody to make them be accountable, because people have a problem with discipline. That's where life coaches really do well, because we help people with that as well. Hi, Boo Boo. Is it Booby? Hi, sweetie pie. Thank you for calling me queen. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm just wrapping my life up now, right? I spoke about how you can attract your man in your life and keep him. I spoke about the spiritual side of things and the energetic side of things as well, right? So, if you're new here, I haven't seen you before, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm building my numbers. It's very important. And I really, really need your support, sweetie pies, right? I need your support. So if you find my topic and my topics on my channel are interested, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, right? Remember, everything is growth. We are actually building a community of growth and wellness and self-awareness at this time in 26, when we need to be more focused on our spiritual health, our mental health, and our psychological health. We need, and our physical health, right? Our bodies are very important. So is our mind, so is our emotions, so is the spirit as well. How we connecting with the subtle side of things, okay, guys? So my coaching, as I said, I'm offering now from February, March, and April, and then I will start again another 3 month session afterwards, right? April, May, June, July, like that. For the whole of 26, I'll be doing that to help people kind of, how to make peace with themselves and the world and what's going on in the world, to help people to be the best they can be, to focus on healing your traumas as well, and connecting with your higher self as well, and being accountable, because people need people to help them be accountable. Right? That's where coaches come in, all right, guys? So have a great Saturday further, and remember, be kind to yourself, because you all love, right? So you have the capacity to love as well, because you all love. You are created from the divine source, from God's breath. Okay, guys? So have a great Saturday further. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, right? And don't forget to also comment as well on my videos, okay? Have a good day, and see you all next time. Probably tomorrow I'll do another live, okay, guys? Have a great day. Bye.